Hello, I am Ifik Arifin.
Hi, this is Jamil Goheer from Pakistan.
We are in Teknix by Inixindo. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Hello, Jamil. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good. You are now in Perth, Australian, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
We are here for our Exco meeting for Asia Pacific ICT Alliance.
Asia Pacific ICT line. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about APICTA later, yeah, about Asia Pacific. But before that, I would like to know a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
As you know, my name is Jamil Goheer, and I'm born and raised in Pakistan in a city called Lahore.
Lahore.
I had my early education from Pakistan. I did my engineering in computer science, and then later did my engineering master's in networks. And I had been engaged in some research project at my undergraduate level, which was around speech and signal processing
Wow.
and language processing. And we had worked for about 1.5 years in that research project as a final year project. And from there on, I was able to publish some of my papers from that project. And that excited me to actually build a technology transfer product, which is a language identification system. So, what we worked on was a language identification model where, upon given a speech signal, you could be able to recognize different languages.
Mm.
We trained those languages and got accuracy for about 93% in Chinese, English, French, Spanish, and 6 other languages. So in total, about 10 languages. And that helped us build a product for call center industry back in 2000, 2001, where call centers can eliminate the multilingual agents and use this component to identify a speech signal coming in from a different part of the world, identify a language, and route that language to a English or to that language proficient operator. So we
Wow.
worked on that particular model in terms of research. Then
Yeah.
in 2002, we started working formally on our own product. From there on, I got admission in University of Edinburgh for Masters in Speech and Language Processing, and so did
Wow.
my other couple of colleagues. And by the time we completed this particular company, I was also done with my master's. And from there, of course, once you get a germs for entrepreneurship, you
Mm.
keep going forward. And that's where I started the other company. This time around, I approached my university and asked them to start a company and help them out, help. So ask for help to stay in the organization or university and get incubated. So that was the
Mm.
first ever incubation model within Pakistan that I can think of.
Wow.
The university helped us as our first test case, as their first test case as well. And we got a small space within the university back in 2004. And we started working on our new idea, which was building up a Google search engine on speech files. So the
Mm.
concept was that there are a lot of speech files. You speak about a certain phrase, it will process, it will find those speech files and pull them forward.
Mm.
So this was a very cutting edge idea back in 2005 at that time, and we got selected into a global competition held by Intel Capital and Fenwick Invest in California. We were about the top 8 entries in 200 entries,
Mm.
and we were able to get the top 5 positions as well. But at that time, Pakistan had been struggling through their own challenges, and we were not able to raise funding from within Pakistan. Though we were able to invite a lot of venture capitalists who visited us in Pakistan, because at that time in 2005, after Google, a speech search engine was a very killing idea.
Mm.
And we were able to very quickly scale with our international clients in Pakistan.
Mm.
Then in 2009, we restructured this whole thing. And while we were doing this thing, I applied for the Pasha ICT Awards, which is the Pakistan IT Industry ICT Awards in 2007, 2008. And we were ranked the best startup in 2008.
Mm.
Right after that, there were awards in Jakarta through
Jakarta.
which is the Asia Pacific ICT Alliance, going on for about 22 years. And we were nominated as the best startup for that competition. We flew to Jakarta for 4 days. I still remember my early days when there were a lot of judges, and they helped us build our pitch, polish our pitch. Actually, they crucified us when we had our first pitch in front of them a day before judging, the mentors. And I remember that me and my partner kept on practicing on that pitch overnight until like 3 or 4 a.m. And the next day we were like half asleep, but our pitch was around 2 p.m. And we were lucky to get some sleep. And then we were able to pitch and ultimately win the Asia Pacific Award as well. So that was my first ever experience and win. So very sweet memories with Jakarta.
You have very sweet memory in Jakarta, right? So did you have the time to explore Jakarta?
I did. We took an island hopping trip, very quick trip, and then roamed around some street food to find some street food.
You like that, right?
Yeah. So it was a very short trip. Right after the judging, there was only 1 day for us to stay around, and then we took a flight back home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Jamil, you mentioned about APICTA, Asia Pacific ICT Alliances, right? What is that actually for some of the viewers? They don't know what APICTA is.
So APICTA is basically an alliance of IT associations from about 16 economies in Asia Pacific.
16 countries, yeah.
16 economies and 16 countries.
Yeah.
And the idea is to build up this consortium to promote bilateral opportunities in IT and information communication technology between these countries. And the biggest project for APICTA is the APICTA Awards, where they get nominations every year from different countries and different associations. And then those nominations come, and there's a very strict criteria in terms of competing on different levels for different awards. And there's a whole 3-day process where there's a judging going on, evaluations going on. In fact, it's more than that, but 3 days on-site process. And this happens every year, and one economy or country hosts this awards. It was actually hosted in 2022 by Pakistan for the first time. But in 2023, Hong Kong will be hosting these awards again. So awards are the biggest project for APICTA, but APICTA is also working towards building up more collaborative projects to bring the IT companies together from these economies to jointly seek opportunities and bid for business opportunities in these economies or countries.
Yeah, they call it also the Oscar of ICT, right?
They call it the Oscar of ICT. It's a very prestigious awards, and the kind of final ceremony that happens, it's quite I would say exciting. Yeah. I had very fond memories of my final in 2008.
You might find some business partners in outside Pakistan, right? Because of the APICTA.
Business partners and a lot of friends and a lot of learning around what's happening in the other countries in IT and communications.
Information exchange, something like what we are doing now, right? Okay, Jamil. Now about Web 3.0, because we chose this topic because as far as I know, Web 3.0 is still being developed and refined by researchers around the world, right? It's not a concept that everybody knows about that. Yeah,
that's right.
So I would like to ask you, first of all, Web 3.0 based on 2.0, what is the difference and why do we need Web 3.0? Sure. Maybe please slowly, because we try to process it to our brain.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'll go back in the history a little bit. Before even 2.0, we need to talk about Web 1.0. So sure. in 90s, when the whole web project got the prominence, and there was this bubble in 99 as well, it was about a lot of organizations trying to leverage the WWW and create platforms that can be able to get you information. Hotmail was originated, a lot of other platforms got originated. Amazon was basically built for the first time. So websites with information and things for people to be done, and anybody can be able to access web from anywhere, any part of the world. So that was early 90s and very early 2000s.
Yeah.
So this was the whole Web 1.0 concept that was developed.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I mean, when this was happening, there was a lot of venture capital coming into it. A lot of people made a lot of good money in the early 90s, mid 90s, and late 90s. But then in 1999, the bubble burst because people wanted more tangible things and more structured things. And that's where the innovation started happening in Web 2.0. So we saw that from 2000 onwards till 2012, 15, Web 2.0 evolved, where it wasn't only the website, but it was interconnected aspects of the website. Mobile started coming in, smartphones started coming in, a lot of mobile applications started getting built. But it's not like mobile application as just a mobile application, because a mobile application has a lot of web component to it as well. And it is an interconnected application with server side, mobile side, website, all connected. And anybody could be able to access information from web, but same information is available on the mobile as well. And the mobile, as the Anderson Horowitz, one of the very famous VCs, they say that software is eating the world. Later on in Web 2.0, mobile ate the world as well. So we saw the surge of smartphones. So this was the era of Web 2.0, where you had a lot of interconnected applications started coming in. IoT also started coming in. Then came Web 3.0, 2016, 17, 15 onwards, when there was a lot of work started getting done in virtual reality, augmented reality. Then blockchain came in. The concept of decentralization started coming. Applications that can have identity created and that identity cannot be compromised. So this is a fundamental blockchain technology. They started creating smart contracts. Those smart contracts started building up, helping build applications in cryptocurrency, in let's say contract negotiation, in some other format. So all of that started evolving. And then Meta, which is like Facebook, evolved into Meta, and they started creating their metaverse, where augmented reality, virtual reality, other kinds of realities started coming in as well. So this actually shaped up the whole movement of Web 3.0, where we will see a lot of things happening in decentralized fashion. Finance will be decentralized. Your presence will be decentralized. Your meetings could be decentralized. I mean, today we are having this two-dimensional meeting through a Zoom, but with Web 3.0, you can imagine that I am sitting right next to you. I have some, I would say, devices on my eyes, and then my whole presence in front of you in form of avatars, in form of other features. I can have a more realistic conversation while being in your setting. But I'm not physically there. But then that is guiding my identity, that is guiding my financial transactions, that is guiding my activity over there, and that is reporting everything out there. So this is the whole concept of Web 3.0.
Yeah. So what I understand from what you told us, the Web 3.0 technologies enable the creation of decentralized financial application, right? What does it mean? It is centralized finance application. Does it mean that we make transaction and then we let it go, and then they process by themselves, and then maybe we get another an acknowledge or something like that? Can you be more specific?
So if I have to sum it up, you need to think Web 3.0 as a combination of technologies like virtual reality, technologies like blockchain, technologies like AI, technologies like
artificial intelligence. Yeah.
All of them are coming together. More decentralized, more permissionless platforms where you can do things the way you want to and the way they happen in real time. You don't have to go to banks for any central transaction I would say reporting. Your transactions between myself and yourself can happen, and that transaction can happen in terms of a trust basis, though I don't know you. So there is a fundamental technology that is basically offering you the same kind of a trust that a bank offers you.
So the machines will be more intelligent, right? The in between.
Machines will be more intelligent, the softwares will be more intelligent, and they will be learning themselves in supporting you in different ways. For example, I mean, imagine Chat GPT now coming in with a very intense AI, and then also it has associated components where it can have this conversation recorded, analyzed, and then it can drive this conversation forward on its own. So that's Web 3.0.
Okay. Does it mean that the web, the new version of web is something like a platform in itself? They manage to execute anything that they think it's right, how to select the data, how to decide everything by themselves. Is it correct?
That's right. Though, so I mean, you can say the softwares are getting smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. So essentially, it's basically the pursuit of making the softwares smart enough to replace that kind of human intelligence, human trust factors, and human controls. So that's the whole concept of building Web 3.0.
But anyway, do you need a special power to be able to run this version of web, so that you have to change?
Of course. I mean, since web is all internet, and that's where on the physical infrastructure side, there's continuous pursuit from 2G to 3G to 4G, to LTE to now 5G.
5G.
And even I have started hearing about the concepts of 6G, where you could be having 100 Mbps and like so that will enable all those real-time things happening through devices and internet as well, because that's the speed of the data transfer is required over there.
Okay, well, what it sounds to me like it will revolutionize everything.
It will revolutionize everything, because I mean, the speed and the power of computing resources, mobile phones, desktops, applications, vehicles, sensors, I mean, all these electronic vehicles, self-driving vehicles, all of that will come together to play a role out there. And decentralized data networks, all of that will be contributing towards building the Web 3.0.
So is it good to say, hey, people, be ready for Web 3.0? So learn anything that has to do with Web 3.0 is correct?
Absolutely. I mean, that's where the world will be going. I mean, even if you see generally, we have moved from industrial revolution to technology revolution, then mobile revolution, then data revolution. Now, for the next 10 years, the world is trying to find something better, something new. And that's basically an amalgamation of all these technologies to do things which are never done before. And technology will keep growing, because that's where the human mindset is trying to push everyone. And innovation is happening around it. So the maximum innovation that has happened is basically over the last 10, 15 years is around IT and technology, and everybody is now moving towards it. What was said about 13, 14 years ago, that software will eat the world. I mean, software has already eaten the world. It has already gone to an extent that it's a very fundamental part of our lifestyle. We cannot live without our mobile phones. Have your wallet in your mobile, TV in your mobile, internet in your mobile, camera in your mobile. You have your blood pressure monitors and other things in your mobile. The mobile is getting so heavy in terms of the utility that tomorrow I don't see that people might be able to live without water, but not mobile.
Yeah, that's the newer generation. Yeah,
that's right.
They are very tied to the new technology. Okay,
and, I mean, but one interesting thing, I mean, for people still from 80s and 90s, and even, I mean, you guys, we love books, right? I see a very growing trend in the new generation that they don't actually read books. They just do everything on their mobile. They are studying on mobile. They are preparing for your for their
Yeah.
tests on mobile. The entire data, entire content is on mobile, and their brain has wired towards accumulating knowledge through mobiles, which is probably not the case with generations before them. I mean,
Yeah.
I still find it hard. If I have to prepare for an exam, I probably won't be able to do it on internet or just a screen. I still have to get some papers, get some stuff done,
Right.
writing and
Right.
all. But newer generation, they are much used to it. Their fingers move like supersonic speed on their mobiles.
And very, very fast. They're very fast. Okay. And some people call this web 3.0 as semantic web. I did some readings yesterday. Semantic webs is what does it mean with the semantic, Jamil?
So semantic is basically all about the languages and different type of programming that is going beyond what it used to be before. So semantic is basically like HTML and others when it was Web 1.0, but their capabilities kept on increasing, and all the AI and machine learning started replacing the decision-making process within that semantic web as well. And
So
that's
they
potential actually grew massively for those applications.
so the data will be used
Yes.
to make prediction or something like that.
Data processing power and intelligence all
Intelligence.
together has transformed that semantic web further.
Wow, it sounds very interesting. So, yeah, that's a good. And also that you have something like a graph-based data model. Yeah, they use a graph-based data model for everything. Correct? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And also still XML technology will be used, or like JSON, like whatever the format of
A lot of new libraries are, I mean,
changing.
even in the programming side, if you see, a lot of I would say compilers and interactive platforms are built to create codes on top of codes on top of codes, which are low code models. So before, you used to have a very deep down programming done, then C++ came in, then more libraries started getting built up, more different type of technologies started coming on to facilitate the formation and creation of the web applications and mobile applications on top. So today, I mean, you don't have to go to that level of deeper understanding of the code. There are compilers and there are platforms and SDKs available that you can just use to create applications faster. I remember that when we used to study artificial intelligence, we used to then, at that time, if you have to run a model, you have to then first create the data models for training the whole AI model, and
Right.
then testing the AI model. And then once it was done, after like several hours of training and testing, then you could be able to use it. Now, today, all those models are built. You just plug and play and then execute your AI models.
Easier to use. All right. Okay. You mentioned about decentralization, machine readability, and then data interoperability. And what about the security, Jamil? Is it still our concern about Web 3.0 with the security?
Yes. I mean, the more you start doing things, because today the biggest and the most expensive commodity is not gold, probably. It's the data on the web. So everybody wants to protect it.
Yeah.
Companies with billions of dollars of revenue would want to protect their data, because if that gets leaked out, somebody else will probably leverage that data and gain access to those customers or resources. Hence, data has turned out to be the biggest asset in the world right now.
Good.
Now, everybody wants to protect that asset, but there are a lot of people who wants to steal that asset as well.
Yes.
So that's where there's a continuous challenge on building more secure platforms to support the commodity to be more procured, or I would say secured. Hence, cybersecurity is continuously evolving as well. I mean, if you want to think of cybersecurity, it's very simple. Just like when you build your homes, you try to understand the architecture that you would want to lay out. You put some doors, you put some windows, you put some cameras, you install certain things. That's where you are trying to build the whole protection layer. Then once you're able to protect the layer, you want to also see, okay, if somebody will be able to penetrate in or not. You test things out. You try to knock the door. You see if that is strong enough. You see if there are some loopholes in the windows or other areas. Somebody can cut the wires and move in. That's where you are trying to create an assurity whether somebody can penetrate your model or not. So similarly on web or on internet, you have that protection layer and then assurance layer, and then you continuously monitor your resources. Once you are able to build the protection layer and assurance layer, you continuously monitor that if something new comes in, how do you react to that? So this is where a lot of essentially it's for everybody to really build a secure model for protecting their assets online.
Sure. Yeah. That's quite horrible also. And if you think about security, you have to be very careful about your data.
Very careful.
That's a good point. Very good point. And okay, my last question is now, Jamil, about the Web 3.0 in education. That's very important for me because I come from education area. Education can create more, I think, interactive learning experience, or anything that make learning easier, something like immersive and engaging educational experiences. Yeah. So what do you think the role of Web 3.0 in education?
It will be huge.
Huge, yeah.
Imagine a medical students,
yeah,
involved through different technologies. Let's say there's an operation going on in some hospital in US. There's a student somewhere in Europe, and they use the AI, they use the AR VR models to be present in that operation, within that operation theater. They are seeing things live happening, and they're learning from there. And that learning is captured in certain ways where they can reuse those learnings for anything that they do practically back home afterwards. So this is one example. The other example could be that there is some, let's say, I'll take another medical example. There's some problem that has happened, and paramedics are basically solving that problem, and you can just go there and then use your knowledge to help them in real time to solve that particular problem. So this is how the virtual reality and the other components are trying to contribute towards learning part of things as well.
So there will be a lot of new ideas for education, right? In this area. And I think also in the sense of, for example, collaborative learning, we can facilitate more opportunities for learning experiences, right?
That's right. I mean, as you see, there's a massive revolution going on. There used to be, when Web 1.0 came in, the content started getting built. Now, when Web 2.0 came in, there was a lot of content, and then processing of that content was basically the key. That if people could be able to process and get information. You remember Khan Academy came in, a lot of other similar massive online courses, MOOCs, they came in.
MOOCs, yeah.
But now there's a next level. There are applications, there are softwares which are just teaching you things very quickly, and you can hack things out. You don't have to go to universities. You can learn anything and everything while being in your own settings, if there's a will and time involved. And then you can then go back and contribute in whatever way through those learnings.
All right, ubiquitous learning, something like that, yeah.
Ubiquitous learning, yeah.
Ubiquitous learning. Okay, Jamil, thank you very much. The time flies.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. It's a pleasure talking to you.
I thank you very much, because this is a new knowledge for us, for me especially, yeah. And I wish you success in your country. So make a trip to Indonesia and we can meet together. Yeah. join some
God willing,
cooling.
inshallah, I will.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Okay, Jamil. And the last is we say salam kompeten together.
Salam
Salam
competent.
kompeten. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
Okay.